And this is one that has already established itself as an amazing game that a ton of people love with a really nice rating on BGG. But this newer version, of course, is going to be offering you some upgraded components and brand new artwork. And they provided a whole bunch of details on the sizing and the look of the different components and the new boards. And this is also going to be including a new expansion called Through the Desert Bazaar, which is going to include 4 different modules that are going to offer some new ways to score, some pick up and deliver, and even crocodiles that players can manipulate to block off certain parts of the board. But like I said, these are modules, so players can choose to include or exclude any of these if you're not a fan of pick up and deliver, or if you're not a fan of crocodiles. To start the game, players are going to be taking turns placing out the palm tree tokens on the predetermined oasis spaces. But there's going to be more of these spaces than there are palm trees, so any that are left over are going to get a watering hole token, but then you're also going to be putting a watering hole token on any of the available watering hole spaces that are also predetermined out on the board. Once this is all set up, players are going to be taking turns putting one of their riders out onto the board. Each of the player's rider tokens will match that player's color, but then each of the camels will be of varying colors, with that color determining which caravan they can be a part of. But there are some placement rules when you're initially placing out these riders, and that's that they can't be placed directly next to an oasis, and they can't be placed directly next to another player's rider. Once all the riders have been placed out on the board, the game just continues over a series of turns with players placing up to 2 of their camels out on the board on a given turn, with the goal to try and extend their caravans. You can only extend a caravan by placing a camel of the same color onto your pre-existing caravan, but there's a few different ways that you can try and score victory points in this game. The first is to try and connect your caravan so that it gets into a space with a watering hole token, and these can range from 1 to 3 victory points, and you're just going to be taking those victory points into your supply. The other way that you can gain victory points is by connecting to one of the palm trees, and that's going to score you 5 victory points at the end of the game. And then the final way to score victory points is to try and fully encapsulate a section of the board. And if you're able to do that, you're going to be picking up all the tokens within that area, but you're also going to be gaining a victory point for each hex that is in that area at the end of the game. There's very few restrictions on how you can extend your caravan. Basically, you can't move into any of these rocky areas that are blocked off, and you also can't connect to an opponent's caravan that is of the same color. Now, I don't have too many images showcasing the new artwork or components, so most of these images are of the original game, but the game continues like this, and then the player with the most victory points at the end of the game wins the game. And if you do want to check out the new artwork and the new components, you can find a link to the campaign in the description below.